Hello, everyone. My name is Don, the movie reviewer, and today we're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Part 2 of Spoilers. Now, what I want to talk about is I know the initial review I did, I was very upset and very emotional. So with this review, I want to make it more of like just me being laid back, but this is technically a rant though when you think about it. Because I still don't like this movie. Like I saw it again for the second time because I like to give movies a chance. Like if I see it one time and I don't like it, then I'll be like, okay, maybe there was something wrong with me. I wasn't in the right state of mind, and so then I'll watch the movie again and give it a second chance. With this, I saw it again, still think it's garbage, still give it a D minus. But I want to break everything down as smoothly as I can and not be so emotional about it. Break this down like a critic. Okay, so here we go. The movie starts off. But before that, let's talk about this. Let's talk about how when the trailer came out, I love the trailer for this. Like when it plays the high finance version of "Break the Chain" by Fleetwood Mac. That song is phenomenal. I love that song. When I heard that song in the trailer, I immediately loved this movie. And then you watch the movie, and it's like, okay, the opening scene is what we see in the trailer, where he's like, okay, this monster's going to be here any minute. So the monster shows up, and you're like, all right, here, we're about the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're coming together to fight this creature to stop it from eating these batteries or whatever for these gold people. So then, as soon as they start fighting the creature, you got Baby Groot just dancing around, right? You got Baby Groot dancing around, and it's like, okay, so all the stakes at that point are just thrown out the window. Because as the Guardians are fighting this creature, it's like we're watching Baby Groot dancing. And then at the same time, while Baby Groot is dancing, the tentacles of the creature nearly kill Baby Groot. Like they just flap right behind Baby Groot, and he's just still walking and dancing like, yeah, I know I'm in a movie. I'm not going to get killed by no tentacles. And then you see the Guardians of the Galaxy flying around, almost hitting Baby Groot, landing right next to him, and everything is fine. So at that point, it's like, okay, yeah, there's no stakes involved. None of our heroes are going to die. They're not in any real danger or anything. So then it's like, all right, jokes, and then they kill the creature very easily, where it's like, oh, it has a slit down its throat, and it's just like, who really cares? No one really cares. That's why we made you watch Baby Groot instead of an action scene, because we don't really care. No one's really gonna die or get hurt. So they slit the throat of the creature very easily, and then they kill it, and then they go to these gold people, and it's a little nice joke where it's like, oh yeah, the gold woman and Star-Lord, they're having like a little flirtation back and forth, and then Gamora's like, yeah, just bring me Nebula, and they bring her Nebula, and then you start to get the sense of like their rivalry at that point. And then they go on the ship, and then all of a sudden, because Rocket Raccoon stole the batteries for no apparent reason other than to set up the story for these gold people to hunt down the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's pretty much it. And then so it's like, all right, these gold soldiers show up in all their ships, but it doesn't matter because the heroes are easily going to get out of it. It's just visual noise. But then, they crash land, the ship is destroyed, they're on this planet, and they're like, arguing. And then the same thing in the first movie, Star-Lord's like, oh, you stupid raccoon, and Rocket's like, I'm not a raccoon, and he's cracking jokes, whatever. Then all of a sudden, Kurt Russell shows up, who's Star-Lord's father. He shows up, and he's like, I'm your father. And it's like, okay. And then Star-Lord and Gamora have a conversation, and Gamora's trying to convince Star-Lord to be like, yeah, he's your father, give it a chance. He's your Hasselhoff. Okay, so then he's like, all right, I'll go. So then they leave Baby Groot and Rocket behind. Now, at the same time, Yondu, who took Star-Lord in from the first movie, he's I don't know what he's doing. I guess he's down in the dumps. He's got his crew. He's having sex with robotic prostitutes. And then he runs into Sylvester Stallone. Because I guess they had a former history where it's like Stallone was a part of their group or something, and he was the leader. And then, like, he dishonored or disowned Yondu because Yondu took in Star-Lord, a human being, and was like, yeah, you should have. That's against our code or something like that. Like Yondu disrespected their code, and then so it's like he's Sylvester Stallone's like, yeah, you're no part of us anymore. So then he's like, yeah, he has that dilemma. And I like Yondu's story in this. Yondu, I think, had really one of the best stories in this movie next to Star-Lord. Everybody else was sidecast. And then so it's like, all right, then you go on and then, Gold people are looking for the Guardians. And then, there's this stupid scene on the ship where it's like Drax is laughing at Star-Lord. Oh, she just revealed your deepest, darkest secret and stuff. And she's like, I'm an empath. And she touches them. And Gamora's like, don't you touch me and all this stuff. And it's this really kind of useless scene. I mean, we get to know who Mantis is and stuff like that, and interaction between her and Drax. Okay, whatever. And then you move on, and then you have Rocket and Groot on the ship, and then Yondu and his crew show up to collect the bounty, but then he's like, no, I'm not going to kill you because, I still have too much, I'm still soft for Star-Lord. And then his crew's like, yeah, you're too soft for Star-Lord. And so they betray him, and then Groot, since he wants to save Rocket, he lets Nebula go, but then she ends up, like, kind of killing Yondu, like, shooting the mohawk off his head, which helps him control his arrow thing. So then that happens, and then, the Ravagers or whatever they're called kill half of their teammates on the ship, and then Nebula walks off, and then she talks about her father Thanos, and it's like, yeah, all of these things happened in my life, and blah blah blah, and then she moves on to take the ship. And then we go on to the Ego planet where Kurt Russell is and Nebula and Drax. And they're just walking around doing crap. And it's just like, okay, all the stuff's going on simultaneously. And you got Ego, the Living Planet, who I think is a crappy villain because it's like they don't even explain how he was created. He's like, I was just floating in the cosmos or some crap, and I just came to life. And they don't even explain why he wants to take over the galaxy or the universe or whatever and plant his seed everywhere. He just wants to do it just because. That's why they call him Ego, because his ego, he's very vain. He's like, spread everywhere, and that's it, so whatever. And then you got Nebula showing up to kill Gamora because she wants revenge. So then this is a really stupid scene, because then it's like you got Nebula and the spaceship shooting all of these bullets at Gamora, and Gamora's just running in a straight line, and Nebula's just shooting all these bullets, and it's like, what? You haven't hit her? What the how can you miss? How can you miss? It's like, Gamora she shouldn't have started running. She should have just stood there and just been like, Nebula, you can't hit shit. And then it's just like, it's really bad. It's really bad. And then all of a sudden it turns into Expendables 2, where it's like she runs into this cave. Well, first she tries to run her over while she's outside, but she misses. Then Gamora runs in this cave, and all of a sudden Nebula's ship's bad CGI, and then the ship comes in, tries to run her over, but she misses again. And then Gamora picks up this gun, and it looks like some Looney Tunes crap, because she picks up this super heavy gun, starts blasting, and it's like, oh, I guess you don't care if you kill your sister. And then the ship falls and it blows up, and I'm like, why isn't Nebula dead? And then all of a sudden Gamora saves her, and then they have a heart-to-heart, like, oh yeah, and then Nebula confesses, well, I hated you because blah blah blah. And it's like, I guess they just made up their sisters again after all of that chaos. Like, you just tried to kill her and run her over with a spaceship, but in 2 seconds after you saved my life, after you shot me down and nearly killed me, everything's fine. It's okay. I just needed to get that anger out of my system. And, whether you would have killed me or not, it's all good, because we all know we're in a movie and we're not going to die. There are no stakes here. None of us are good. No one important is going to die anyway. So you move on, and then you go back to the boring crap with Kurt Russell and Star-Lord. They're talking, and at this moment, I like it, because then it's like, okay, Mantis is like, I need to tell Drax something. Now, the only character development they have with Drax, because all he does is crack jokes in here. But there's one scene where he reflects, two scenes actually, where he reflects on his family. One scene when he's talking to Star-Lord, the scene from the trailer where it's like, you need a hug, but it's not in this movie. But he's like, yeah, you need to find someone who's pathetic like you, and then he talks about his old lady. Then you move forward, and it's like Mantis, she's like an empath, and she touches people, and she can feel their feelings. So there's this relaxing moment where Drax is looking out over the land, and he's like reflecting on his family and his children, and then Mantis touches him and she cries and he exhales, and that's the only real development he has. Other than that, he's just cracking jokes. talking about his nipples. Can't put the suit on because my nipples hurt. And then so it's like you move on, and then you got Rocket and Groot, and they're on the ship, and then Yondu on the ship, and then there's this scene with Baby Groot where they shove Baby Groot down your throat. Because in this moment, it's like, realistically, you've captured the Guardians of the Galaxy, or at least half of them. You've got, you wanted to take out Yondu, you've taken him out, he's in a cage. And you've killed half of his team. And then you've got Rocket, and then you've got Groot. You can easily either turn them over or kill them, but they won't kill them because of Nebula's I want a share of the money or something. And then the Ravengers, they just won't kill them because I guess we're gonna hand them over or something. I don't really remember. And then it's there's this, and then they have the stupid scene where it's where the movie points it out, yes, you need to like Baby Groot, because then it's there's a scene where that this character has Baby Groot in a cage, kind of like Tweety Bird from Looney Tunes.
I'm a tweet little bird in a gilded cage. Tweety's my name, but I don't know my age.
And he's in a cage, and then he's like, "Can I squash this character's like, can I squash it with a rock?" And then even the stupid Taserface, which I thought the exchange between Taserface and Rocket Raccoon was funny. Taserface, that's a stupid name, but it was funny because then he's like, "Can I smash it with a rock?" And then Taserface is like, "No, it's too cute to kill." And I'm like, "Really, dude? Really?" So the movie's gonna tell me that yes, Baby Groot is too cute to kill. Actually, I would have enjoyed this movie and thought there had been a lot more stakes if at the opening scene when we see Baby Groot dancing, kind of like with Steven Seagal in Executive Decision when he died right at the opening scene, they should have just killed Baby Groot. Because then there'd be some stakes involved. Because at the opening scene, the Guardians, we don't really care that they're fighting this creature. Baby Groot's dancing. Oh, it's cute. And the tentacles continually miss, hitting, damn near killing Baby Groot. But no, in my version, the tentacles when it came down, oh, it missed. Baby Groot's still dancing. Oh, it's cute. And all of a sudden, tentacle comes down, whoosh, Baby Groot is killed, and it's squashed, and you're just like, and that would have been awesome. That's what I would have done. Because the movie is stupid. It's like it shoves Baby Groot down your throat, and then it's like, Baby Groot's too cute to kill. And it's like, really, dude? Baby Groot does nothing in this movie. There's no development with Baby Groot. There's only oh, it's a cute baby. It's Baby Groot. Oh, I don't care. Does nothing. It's cute. That's it. There's no other purpose for it. And then it's Yondu is like, yeah, get this thing, this new prototype Mohawk for me. And then Baby Groot keeps screwing up, and then one of the Ravengers who's like, yeah, I respect you, Yondu, helps him get the prototype. And a cool scene, very cool scene, Yondu just wastes all of the guys with the arrow whistling, and the arrow just moves around, kills everybody. It's awesome. And then they blow up the ship, then they get on the ship and escape, and they go to save Star-Lord and them, and there's this trippy scene where they have these blurry bloopy faces or whatever. Then you go back to the planet with some crap about, okay, yeah, then once Gamora and Drax learn what they need to learn from Mantis about, yeah, Ego is evil, they try to save Star-Lord, but then it's too late, and then Star-Lord's like a half god, he's immortal, all this stuff. And then the thing I did like in the movie was when Kurt Russell was like, yeah, I gave your mother the tumor. That linked back to the first movie. I love that. There are two things I like in this movie. Is where it linked back to the first movie, where it's Yondu was like, yeah, I took you in because of XYZ. And then it links back to the first movie, who wants his redemption. And then it links back to Kurt Russell, Ego, with, Star-Lord's father, because I gave your mother the tumor. And it links back to the first movie of how close Star-Lord is to his mother. So I like those two aspects of the movie. And then, okay, Ego's like, yeah, I'm the planet, blah, blah, blah. And then you got this Green Lantern blob stuff with these plants, and they try to consume the planet or whatever. And then Star-Lord, they fight, and then he turns into Pac-Man, all this stuff. I think, no, before that, though, it's just visual noise, though. I don't care, because it's just stupid. Because then, he gets in the ship, and then, then they fucking just stupid crap, and they get in the ship, and he's like, I gotta destroy this. I gotta kill my father, all this stuff, and then they go into space, and then the gold people show up again with all their stupid ships, but yet the lasers destroy the ships. Just visual noise. It's crap. And then all of a sudden, Rocket and Groot and Yondu show up, and destroying ships. Visual noise, boring. one's really in danger here. It's just visual noise, just action pieces, just enjoy it because it's fun and it's silly and it's dumb. I guess so. If I was 5 years old, like if I had a son and my son was 5 years old, I'd be like, yeah, let's go watch Guardians. But as an adult like myself, who likes a little bit of like stakes involved, where it's like they should have at least. I can have fun. I love the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I can have fun, but give me some stakes, man. Give me some people who are in danger. Give me some reason to care about these people, because there's no character development in this movie. There's just a bunch of jokes, downtime, and just visual noise. And the only people who get a character development in here is Star-Lord, Yondu, and Ego, sort of, because we don't know where he came from. And we don't know what his purpose is. He's just there. And everyone else, Rocket, he's just like there. I mean, you get one scene with him and Yondu where Yondu's like, I know who you are, boy. You're like me. And the movie just spoon feeds you information and gives it to you. There's no real like visual cue where you can just use your mind and be like, oh, yeah, this is why Rocket's upset. Instead, no, they just give you some like vocal information to feed you, and then you're okay. And then Groot does nothing except being cute, because even the movie points it out, oh, Groot's too cute to kill, so whatever. And then you got Drax having 2 scenes in the movie where he reflects on his family, and that's pretty much it. And then Mantis, she's just here to have some banter and jokes back and forth with Drax. And then, that's pretty. There's nothing else in here. Only 2 people that get character development is Yondu, Star-Lord. That's it. And, Gamora and Star-Lord with their little stuff back and forth. I mean, it doesn't really develop. It doesn't go anywhere. I mean, they mention it like, yeah, this is like a Cheers episode. If we hooked up, the ratings would go down and stuff like that. And it's kind of cute. And you just yell at the screen like, why don't you just say, hey, baby, I love you, okay? Just stop with this bull crap, But it doesn't go anywhere, so I don't care, because it's the same crap from the first movie. They should have resolved this already, Marvel's love relationships are always kind of just they're not good. They're not perfectly executed. They need to work on that. But yeah, and then you got visual noise, the stuff blowing up, cute scene with Baby Groot. Oh, don't push this button. And then no, they try to build some intensity with that, like don't push this button. And so he doesn't, but you think he might. So you're like, oh, don't push the button, but he's not, because then everyone would die, and then there's no Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so it's not going to happen. And like I said, the opening scene establishes the fact that, yeah, no one's really in danger here, no one important is going to die. Visual noise, and then like the Eagle Planet comes alive, tries to kill everybody. It looks like Parallax from Green Lantern, but it doesn't do anything. And then they kill his father by blowing up his internal organs or something through this planet, and he dies. And then Yondu saves Star-Lord, same way Star-Lord saved Gamora in the first movie, being in outer space and having the freezing face thing. And they don't save him, which is kind of weird, because they needed someone to die, I guess. And Yondu's not really a part of the Guardians. I mean, he's a cool character, and I liked him in this movie. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all, and stuff. He was cool, but he wasn't part of the Guardians. Like the reason why I like the first movie so much is that even though no Guardians of the Galaxy, even though no Guardians of the Galaxy members had died in the first movie, you have that touching scene where Groot is like, we are Groot, and he saves everybody. And that's why he's Baby Groot in this movie. And I thought that was really good, because he sacrificed himself even though he didn't die. And I accepted that, because he kind of died and he turned into Baby Groot, So that was cool. But in this, nothing happens. No characters are near to death. Like, I would have at least respected the movie for doing that, like making Gamora be near death, or some Drax or somebody be near death. Like in the first movie when what's his name, the blue guy from the first movie throws Drax into that liquid stuff. Yeah, he doesn't straight up kill him, which he should have, cut off his head, cut his throat or something, but he just throws him into the liquid, and it's like, oh, he's near death, and they have to resuscitate him. Something like that. Like, at least the first movie is like, our characters are in legitimate danger. They could die at any time. You come up against the villain, you get your butt whooped, and you get thrown in this liquid, and in this movie, it's just like, oh, one situation after another, we easily get out of it. Like, the opening scene establishes that. And then you got the ending where Yondu dies, and then I don't like it because I think it's just a repeat from the first movie. And then they do the fireworks thing, and then Sylvester Stallone shows up again, and I'm like, I cried a little bit. I was like, oh, that's touching because I really like Yondu in this movie. And then that's the end, and then they have like multiple end credit scenes and stuff. And yeah, I still give this movie a D minus because it's boring, man. It's really boring. It's just a bunch of visual noise. There's only two characters that get character development in here: Star Lord and Yondu. Ego gets nothing. They don't even explain his creation or what his purpose is for. Um, Drax is just there to be funny, and he has two scenes reflecting on his family. The Mantis is just there to have some comedic moments with Drax. Gamora is just there to be a part of Star Lord's romantic thing, and then Nebula and her are there, but it easily gets resolved after like a scene where she just tried to run you over and shoot you, and I don't know how you missed. But then I guess you just had to release some anger. So then they move on from that, and it's all resolved immediately. No real stakes with that. And then Rocket, one scene with Yondu where he's like, I'm not a raccoon. Same thing from the first movie. Groot's just there to be cute. Even the movie says, yeah, Groot's too cute to kill. So whatever. This movie's garbage. D minus. I still say that even after watching it twice. Don't like this movie. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.